it was I don't know. It wasn't as like we said. There was some hard hitting fighting on this match, right? And it ended up being not that it disappointed me. I thought it was okay still, but it just wasn't. It didn't live up to its potential.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not sure though. But yeah, it was a good match though. I think so. It was a good match. I'm trying to see, Sarah, so just bear with me for a minute. Okay, so we do. It looks like I do have a little bit of technical difficulties. Apparently, it doesn't show on my end here, but apparently, I'm going to try something here. So I'm going to be getting off here a second. Sauce, you're going to take over. Just kind of talk with our millions.
Yeah, I got
millions. Millions.
I got you.
I believe. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to try to do whatever this is and try to get back in here. Hopefully, it works. I'm not sure. We'll see.
All right.
So. All right, I'll be back in just a couple minutes here. But like I said, we're talking about Samoa Joe and Mark Briscoe. So
okay, yeah, I got you. I'll take it from here, Doc.
Okay, I'll be back.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so when it comes to this the World Television Championship match, I mean, this was one of the matches I was looking forward to the most anyway, and the match didn't disappoint. So on one side, we got Big Daddy Samoa Joe, full of Samoan man meat. On the other side of the ring, we got Mark Briscoe, dudes like you just woke up out of a dumpster. And right now he's on a nice little run. Once again, rest in peace. As far as Jay, but he's going on a decent run right now as far as with AEW, ROH. This match from start to finish, I actually enjoyed it. I'll be honest with you. I mean, spoiler alert. With this, with this pay-per-view, there were some matches that were hits, and there were some that were definitely some misses. But this definitely was a hit. So, these two went toe to toe, blow for blow, and you think a lot of times. One thing I love about Samoa Joe, this dude, a lot of times he can be like twice the size of his opponent. As far as if you're a casual wrestling fan, you look at this like this big guy's gonna kill this little guy. But obviously, in the world of pro wrestling, that definitely wasn't the case. We basically got these two just good chops with each other. Moves off the top rope here and there. As far as with Briscoe, the man did not go down without a fight. As far as excuse me, guys, as far as with little technical difficulties, but as far as with this match goes, we're definitely once again with our rating system. I mean, come on now, we can't do no less than 4 Halo here. So what we're gonna do? Where are we at? Samoa Joe, Mark Briscoe. Yeah, that's definitely 4 Headlock worthy. Like I said, from start to finish, these guys was chopping the mess out of each other, beating the crap out of each other. And as far as let's see. And then, as far as, Samoa Joe beating coming out with the win, I wasn't mad at the decision because sometimes that's the stigma about when you have tag teams. And mind you, those two, Jay and Mark, they definitely have had success, as far as doing their own thing at times. But I think, in 2023, it may take Mark a minute, if he wants to like even touch singles gold. But I think, as far as that being the right call, as far as Joe getting the win, I wasn't mad at the decision. Obviously, I'm pretty sure everybody wanted Mark Briscoe, to come out with the W. But I mean, booking wise, I see Daddy Joe holding his belt, maybe a few more months until they find somebody worthy to take it off of him. Or as I say, when he needs a break. So next, and of course, when Dr. Love comes back, we'll get his thoughts on as far as his thoughts on the other matches as well. So what I'm gonna do now, because while we wait on Dr. Love to come back, let's talk about the Pure Championship. Yuta versus Shibata. Now this match right here. Now, once again, I was born a WWE guy. I was a WWE lad or not. So as far as when it comes to like New Japan, wasn't really too familiar with or whatnot. But I would say this match right here. Now, mind you, Yuta is supposed. The way I look at it, Yuta obviously is the heel in this match, and Shibata is the babyface. But the way these two men wrestled, you like go like if you didn't pay attention, no, like I guess you want to say those storylines wise. And granted, with New Japan Strong Style, you would think that Shibata was like the heel in this match. Because like the way that, with the Strong Style, the way he was beating the crap out of Yuta, he would just do like a lot of like heel stuff, like or maybe it was just the way that he was almost the best way I can describe him, it was like if a Yakuza member was a wrestler, that's the only way I can describe his style. Because just the way that he would just, it was like the way he wrestled, it wasn't dirty, but it was kind of like, being more aggressive. And just the way his body language was, it just made, he just came off of, as an a-hole when he wrestles. Just like I said, it's just a style. But as far as this match goes, Shibata with the win, I can't be mad at that. I felt that was definitely the right choice. And as far as this match goes, let's see. Bam. We doing another 4 headlocks with this. So I just restarted. Okay, so Dr. Love be back on in a sec. But yeah, as far as that match goes, yeah, I was not disappointed at all. Hey Doc, how we doing over there?
Well, if you can hear me, that sounds good. If I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So I just went over my thoughts for the Pure Championship, and I'm just going up. Well, I already did the World Television. So just what I'm gonna do real quick, I'm just wrap up my thoughts on the Pure Championship. Overall, definitely 4 out of 5. I mean, 4 headlock worthy. The way these two men wrestled, it was like these two men definitely they definitely did a dance in the ring together. And listen, I was disappointed. Like, once again, there was some matches in here that were hits, and there was some that was misses. This match was definitely a hit. So what we'll
Yep.
do real quick. So what we'll do is, Doc, I'm gonna give you the floor for the. I'm gonna let you talk about your thoughts on the World Television Championship, and then your thoughts on the Pure Championship, and then you can give you the rating. So the floor is yours, Doc.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I mean, pretty much it was straightforward with Samoa Joe and Mark Briscoe. It was, this was the heart was there, the emotions were there, especially for Mark. And these guys can put on a good hard hitting match. It was a little sad to see Mark not take this title, but Samoa Joe's been good with this belt. It's possible you might even see updated like a feud go with it or such. Not sure, but we'll wait and see on it. But it was a good hard hitting match, and I'd like to see I'd like to see more, but we'll go from there. So to me, I'd have to give that match a. I'd give that match a 3.5. Yep. So to me, so bam, 3.5.
All right,
Headlock
I'm not mad at.
or
I'm not
throw
mad at
3
that.
chop. So an Eddie Kingston chop.
Hey.
Like basically like a hit. You know how he just hits you. Yep, that's it. Then you have for the Pure Championship, and I'm telling you, I've love that they've still used the Pure Championship belt. Man, just such a good idea, and that's one match that our Ring of Honor will actually explain to you. So that's good. But these guys did a great job with in this match. Hard hitting, technical mat wrestling, going by the exact pure rules, making it work too, making sure that like when Wheeler Yuta did like a closed fist punch, it was like, oh, that's your one warning. Yeah, one warning you're out. I like that, making sure that it works. But overall, that match was hard hitting, technical, everything you want in an actual, if you really are into that, pure wrestling, pure mat wrestling. So I'd have to give that match a 4. I'd have to give a 4
All right.
headlocks out of 5. So
Yeah, that match.
four.
Like I was telling folks, as far as the pure championship match, yeah, that was one of the better matches on this card.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So with those matches there, we do have the tag team reach for the sky match. So, yes, of this match that we watched live. Obviously you have some good teams in there. The Lucha Brothers, with the Top Flight, the Kingdom, Aussie Open, and Roosh and Dralistico. So, with that being said, this match, lots of high flying setups, lots of moves here and there. This move literally did have three Canadian destroyers in it, by the way, like 3. Or I'm sorry, this had 2 or 3 because the other match had 2 of that. So regardless, there was multiple and lots of good high flying setup moves. And you got some. We already can see that Lucha Brothers put on like a fantastic match with the Young Bucks. Last year that was a great match there. And then we've already seen Roosh and Dralistico. They know what they're doing. The Kingdom. Honestly, at this point, I thought the Kingdom was taking this one home. But I feel like there might have been a change to the schedule after the ending of this match.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. So obviously,
you could say there was a break in the flow.
Oh man! Don't put your foot. Stop putting your foot in your mouth, man. Come on.
Someone definitely broke a leg.
Oh no! So obviously, as everyone could know, that happened in the wrestling. We had another severe injury that's happened, and so they had the table set up for the quad table spot. It was a quad table spot outside. Dudley boys have done this back in the past, and it was off the top of the ladder, right? So you're going off the top of the ladder, and you see them, and they're going to do a Canadian Destroyer. Okay. He does the Canadian Destroyer to Dante Martin. Dante Martin hits the ground. I personally see him grab his ankle, thinking that, he really jammed his ankle, until he moved and his ankle just flopped around. And we all were like, damn! Like that was basically what we were doing. And I so felt bad for him. Like it was just, he can't get a break. He's been injured, come back from injury. And then they've been pushing them. Oh my gosh. It was just devastating to see that. So the ending, I believe, whether or not Lucha Brothers were supposed to win, everything just got said, let's go, let's move it along. But the match, even without that devastating injury, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good match. Obviously it was for the new tag team championships, which are really cool. By the way, if you get a chance to look at them up close, the new tag team championship side plates have silhouettes of the Briscoe brothers. So on how old school belts, you'll see like grappling wrestlers on them. Yeah. They're actually silhouettes of the Briscoe brothers on it. And I thought that was a very, very cool choice to do for those plates. So for those belts. But as for rating for it, I'd have to. So it's so chaotic. I don't know. I think I personally would give this I'd give this 3.5. I think I'm gonna give this 3.5 because I think it was a little too chaotic for me. And nothing against. I really feel bad about Dante getting the injury, but sometimes when you have so many teams and they don't coalesce together, they don't like mesh well. It really kind of messes up that flow, and that's kind of how I felt. So to me, I'd say 3.5 would be my rating for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
like with mine's. I'll say about 3. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of sweaty meats, there's a lot of sweaty meats being slapped. As far as a lot of high flying, it was a lot going on. But I feel like, the Lucha Brothers, I think the only reason why this match held my attention as long as it did was probably because of Aussie Open and the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah.
Like Rush and Jalisco, like they were all right, but me personally, I feel like I enjoy Rush, more when he does single stuff. Tag team stuff was okay, but yeah, just give me singles Rush all day. And then the Kingdom, they still obviously they're gonna be set back quite a bit, but I see them, maybe not in 2023, maybe late 2023, or like going 2024 when they, start seeing gold around their belts again.
Yeah.
Because right now they're there, but like I don't see them, I don't see them up here yet. Like they're here, but not here just yet. So
It's like, you got me here. Yeah, I'm here. Now you got me here. No, I got you. I got what you're saying, Sauce.
But overall, like I thought, like I said, I was just here for the Lucha Brothers. They came out with the gold. Listen, the only thing left for the Lucha Brothers to do is go to WWE, get booked terribly, and then maybe 3 years after that, they finally will get the WWE titles, and then that'll be it for them.
Right.
But they have to suffer through 3 years of terrible booking of Vince before they get there.
Wait, can you imagine they get signed? Vince is like, God damn, can we get the Lucha House Party back? Those are the same guys, right? Those are the same guys. They're like, no, Vince, that's not the same. They're different guys. It's like, I thought we had those guys. Yeah. Like Kaleidoscope or whatever his name was. His name is Callisto. Yep. God damn, it's close.
Yeah, if Lucha Brothers or Lucha Brothers fan club is watching this, let them know. Do not go to WWE no time soon, at least until the old fart is gone.
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's a good way to put it. But excuse me. Now, moving on. So this match actually opened up the show, and it was for the AAA Mega Championship. Obviously, El Hijo del Vikingo versus Commander. And obviously, Vikingo, who's already been well regarded outside the United States in AAA, and he's now starting to get more people around here, obviously, because he had his match on AEW last week with Kenny Omega. And 2 weeks ago or whatnot. And more people are seeing his stuff. So now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of high flying, a lot of moves going off. It's going through their move repertoire, making sure. And I think we mentioned it a little bit, at least last week. I think the guy's very talented. He's small, but he's very talented. But when you watch a match, it's literally like he's got a video game. And he's got all his supers lined up, powered up, right? He's got all his special moves, and he's literally just special move. Boom, got to do it. Got to do another one. Got to do another one. And he had 3 Canadian destroyers in that match. I just remember because it was 3 in that one, and then 2 in the tag team match.
Yeah.
So you have a pay-per-view that's 5 Canadian destroyers. Do you think it might be overused? Possibly. Just saying. So
yeah, outside of the WWE world, I can see that because it used to be one of those things where it was like exclusive to one person. It's like I don't, it would suck if it gets to the point where a Canadian destroyer becomes a new spear.
Yeah, and there were so many cool moves that he did that were different. There was the move where he was on the middle rope on the outside, but flipped back into the inside, doing a forward spin into a senton. Like, it was very technically difficult to do, and he's very obviously that's what his like specialty is, the rolling type moves, like senton moves where he can roll backwards or roll forwards into a move. He's very talented at that because at one point his one signature move, the 450, I don't know the number, but whatever, he spins out to the outside and he does a senton on the table, right? So he does that against Kenny Omega and almost not kills himself by hitting his head on the apron. This time he moves, he jumps out farther and it doesn't be able to break the table. I'm okay with that. I would rather him do that and not die, and not knock his head out. So
yeah,
but so the match itself was good, and Commander, don't put him out either. He did how many spots where he walked on the rope, just like walk like all the way down the rope just to jump on the other one to do a Asahi moonsault, and it was like, what? Where did that come from? He looked good though. Like it was really cool seeing some of these moves in this match. It's just sometimes you don't need to just be going 200% the entire time, like run.
Right.
So that's some people hate that. Flippy wrestlers always doing stuff like well back in the day, McMahon that he hated people like Juventud Guerrero. That was a big deal. Oh, that's all they do. They just they just jump around. There's whatever. Goddamn. Yeah, because he didn't have that division. Didn't care about it. Until he got Rey Mysterio. Then he cared about it.
Yeah, he just cared about anybody who was over 6 foot.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? But overall, this match was still really good because of a lot of the moves and unique moves I saw. Even taking the Canadian Destroyers out of the equation, there was a lot of really good moves, setups I saw in that. So to me, I was still giving that 4 headlocks out of 5 because I was entertained, and he updated his moves to make sure he was more safe. And that's all I cared about. He didn't want to get knocked out silly again. But what would you give, Sauce, throughout that match?
Oh yeah, I'd definitely give it 4 headlocks. Tony Khan was smart. That was the right move to make this the opener. Get because the crowd was definitely hot for this match, and especially from a dude that was just wrestled 2 weeks on AEW. So a lot of folks who not in the AAA, they so obviously they watch AEW, so they've been familiar. So coming in hot, keeping as far as keeping his push, as far as in Tony Khan land going. Like I said, it was a lot of flips, a lot of skips, a lot of hippity doo dah, and I was all here for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, like I said, and then what did you gave it? Oh, you gave it a 4 as well. All right.
Yeah, definitely 4.
That works. I think so. But so moving on to the main event of this show, and again, this has been a pretty good show. It's our first show of the year, Ring of Honor. You have the Mad King, Eddie Kingston, versus the Swiss Superman, or Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor Championship. Yeah. And you couldn't have 2 different wrestling / fighting styles, man. You really couldn't. But these guys really put a show together. You got one guy that's looks like he's chiseled out of marble. Then the other guy looks like he's a dumpster. But guess what? Those dumpsters they're pretty strong. They're pretty sturdy, aren't they? I mean, that's literally how I described this match. And Kingston was out there. I mean, some of his hits he hits, like we were joking out earlier. I mean, those hits back and forth, hit him, choking him out, getting back up, taking damage. So, and it was crazy. It was nuts, but it was entertaining, and I had a blast watching it. Unfortunately, it did not go out the way I wanted. Really wanted the Mad King to win. Unfortunately, that did not happen. It was close though. Like they did book it very well, right? They booked it pretty well to where it looks like he could have won. He was close to winning, but in the end, Claudio retained the title on that one. But what were your thoughts though, Sauce?
Yeah, for the most part, to me, it felt like I was watching an AEW match, just a standard match between these two. It didn't. Me personally, it didn't have a big fight feel to it. I thought it was a decent match. I thought it was all right, but I guess a part of me just felt like Eddie Kingston was not going to win it because you couldn't have 2 people. You could have 2 people from Blackpool Combat Club, get losses on the same card like that, lose both belts. Point. So let Claudio continue his run. Let let him do his thing for 2023. Then we can worry about him in 2024. So as far
Yeah.
as the rating, what we doing?
So me personally, I'd have to give it probably I'm going to give it a 4. I know it sounds odd, but I'm going to give it a 4 just because I thought, the biggest match of Eddie's career, in my opinion, singles
Yeah,
match, I'd say that I've seen at least, and I want to see more. I think he deserves a shot. Deserves even a short run as champion. But you're right, because of the Blackpool Combat Club, I they already had lost one belt that night. It would have been weird to have him lose 2. So,
yeah.
but I'd give it a 4 headlock out of 5.
So overall, Doc, what's the rating you giving this show?
Yeah, for this show, I'm probably going to give it a let's see, I'll probably give it a 4. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Had some
Right.
good wrestling there. I will say
And then
though,
for
just
me,
oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'll say for me, I'll give it about 3.5 because there was some, like I said, it was just when the matches were on, they were on. But when the matches were, it lost my interest. Like I was just pretty much out of it. So it was just like leaning one way to another.
Yeah.
So, but that was just me.
No, I
But
got you on
overall,
that.
solid pay per view.
I'll tell you right now too. The only thing that was annoying, but it wasn't the wrestling part, was the ending. The ending was very anticlimactic. Like it was funny, but it was
Yeah,
anticlimactic. So the ending, you had like you thought someone was going to come out. There was like what 8 minutes left before 11, and then like what's his name came out. Shibata came out. So you thought somebody
right.
was going to come out. Someone new, someone from old from Ring of Honor, and they basically did this like stare down type thing. The funniest part though was Eddie Kingston getting on the mic, basically give him the mic, and they're like, we don't want to give him the mic, give him the mic, and they're complaining about time, like the time they have to be off the air,
Yeah,
and he's yelling back at them, swearing that we don't give a f about the time. I was like, it was funny, like that was funny because it was very real, but unless you were bringing somebody out like new or again an old Ring of Honor wrestler, that would have been cool to see, especially being your first show back, your first, big show of the year. I would have loved to see someone, an old Ring of Honor wrestler, come in, and then they don't have to do anything. They could just been like stood there and been like, "Oh my God, who's this guy? He's back!" Da da
they could
da.
have just been
Whatever.
looking at the come out just like,
Yep. Let's get. I'm here. Let's get. Like I would have been. But yeah, that was my main thing. Like how the ending kind of fell flat, but that wasn't the wrestling of it. But
yeah,
yeah.
because
So
it was
yeah.
funny. It was funny. He was like, y'all give MJF 30 minutes, but y'all won't give me 5.
Very true and very, 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 very accurate. So, oh, sorry. But yeah, so I mean, it was a great show. It was a great show. But we do have a chat here from Dennis. Can I get a quick talk about 2K23 being played prior to Night 2 Mania? And we played both nights, my friend. So, and it's a great game. I would highly recommend it. Not a sponsor, by the way, not a sponsor. Hey, if you want to give us some money to sponsor, we'll sponsor the hell out of it. That's fine by me. But it's actually
Right.
a very good game. We had fun with it, just scratching the surface, but definitely had a
Yep.
nice had a little bit of fun with that. So
Yeah, night one was pretty fun, did a few matches. Night two, however, was not so fun for me.
nah,
So real quick to let you guys know. Yeah, so we did the Elimination Chamber. I downloaded some wrestlers and I had Brody King, and I started off the match with it was me and Mr. Mustafa Ali. I thought this was gonna be, cakewalk. I was like, we're gonna go here, get a little warm up before the big meaty boys come out. That definitely did happen because I don't know if the difficulty was set on if it was set on John Cena mode or something, but I couldn't land a hit. I
no,
barely could get an Irish whip off. Yeah, and Mustafa Ali proceeded to beat the crap out of me for like the next 10 minutes. And everybody else beat the crap out of me, and every wrestler in that match, they all took a turn throwing me outside the ring onto the cage part of the chamber and then throwing me back in. I was basically just a rag doll for 10 minutes. Yeah, it
It,
was
it was very.
boring.
I know it must have been retribution, Mustafa Ali. Man, I'm just saying.
It
I
had
don't
to be.
know because it's the only thing I can think of.
Or maybe he knew McMahon was already back, so he was venting his frustrations out on me.
Oh gosh, maybe, maybe. But yeah, that was a fun time. It was a fun time. But and one quick one before we start with our WrestleMania one. Yeah, and there's a piss break Athena matches. Yeah, we definitely went over that. And hey, it wouldn't be a wrestling show or pay per view without the good old pee break matches, man. It really wouldn't because when else are you going to go to the bathroom? I mean, come on, you don't want to miss something good. So we agree with that for sure. And then we do have this right here from Dennis. We want Brutus. We want Brutus. I know. I love Brutus, but I think he's asleep right now. So if he wakes up maybe in a little bit, I might bring him back on. But I'll let you know, Dennis. Thank you. But moving on, we do have obviously the big show, the biggest show of the weekend with WrestleMania. And obviously most of these matches are definitely more of a they happened, here you go. But we'll go over it and whatever your thoughts are, let us know. But the opening match we'll definitely go over since it was the opening match of WrestleMania. Is you got to go with A-Town down. Austin Theory versus John Cena for the United States Championship. And I don't know what was funnier. The fact that, Austin Theory comes out, opening match, looking good as in his heel. And then John Cena, who usually has some kind of unique entrance. They talked about how he, has done the most Make-A-Wish wishes in history by a long shot, which he has, and that's great. He's done that. And they talked about how they had the Make-A-Wish children there with him. So they had 13 kids maybe? And it kind of came up to a point that we were like, is John Cena the biggest killer of all time? Because you hate to say that, but it's like the Make-A-Wish kids, and you're like, oh boy, oh no, it's not like a whole row of kids. So he kind of felt bad to thought about it, but it was a really nice sentiment to do that for him. And then you have the match. Match is just a traditional kind of match. There's nothing really to it. There was the rumors that John Cena might win. To me, that was never in the cards. That was never going to be in the cards for that to happen. But they did have it where he had to win with a screwy finish. He had to actually do a low blow to Cena, and then finish him with his signature move, and then wins the match. Lays him out in the middle of the ring. So again, it was nice to see Cena back, and he actually did more in this match than he did when he fought Roman Reigns. I was noticing that.
Yeah.
When he fought Roman, he definitely did nothing. He didn't do barely anything in that match. So seeing this one, I was like, okay, at least you were doing something. So yeah, I as for any type of rating though for it, I mean, there wasn't much else to it. So unfortunately, I'm going to be a little more strict on these match scores probably, but I'm only going to give it 2.5, 2.5 headlock and a Ric Flair chop.
Okay.
Yeah. But what were your opinions?
So as for me, the first match of the night, I was hoping I'd get about maybe 5-6 more minutes with these two. I mean, they definitely had something going. Like they definitely could have made this go longer to get the crowd really more hyped into it. But they made the right decision. Austin Theory should have definitely got the win. Not only get the win, but get the dirty win. Like I definitely didn't, definitely didn't want to see him, win clean over Cena. To me, it wouldn't have made no sense, especially for a smug, heel like him. I definitely wanted a dirty win, and I, definitely got that. So I feel like the decision was fine. The only problem was that match wasn't long enough. So with that being said, you know what? We ain't seen John Cena in a while. My ratings are subject to change, but we're gonna stick it at 3 right now. Like this easily could have been this easily could have been like a 5 headlock match, but you know.
Yep. No, unfortunately not. I think it's just John Cena doesn't have much in the tank. I feel like, and that's he doesn't need to. He doesn't really need to do anything anymore. So nothing really on him. Excuse me. So moving forward, we do have the women's 6-man tag match. Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. And again, this is a match that I was very just blase about. You know, they basically just let Bailey be on the show because their women's title matches are already booked up, and they didn't want you to not be on the show.
Right.
I was a little surprised that I didn't see. I had predicted that maybe Trish Stratus would turn on him, you know, like or something like that. I know it was kind of a long shot, but and it didn't happen. So they gave him the good nostalgic win with the legends, divas, superstars, and it is what it is. Like to me, Becky being part of that group, even as tag team champion with Lita, it's like, why? Like it's seriously like, why? You're just downgrading you, not because you're a tag team champion. It's just you're doing it, and it's like that joke champ. It's like when Edge was WCW. I'm sorry, when he was a tag team champion with Hulk Hogan. Briefly, very briefly. It was like against Billy and Chuck. I believe they beat Billy and Chuck for the titles, if I remember correctly. And it was just so Hogan
right.
the tag team title. He'd never been tag team champion before, so it was just kind of like here you go. That's what you get this belt, and that's it. But to me, the match is this was I'll tell you right now, Trish Stratus, man, people say about the fine wine, how someone ages, and she really did age like a fine wine. Like it's insane. It's very.
I told people, I was like, go back, look at her at WrestleMania 17, look at her now. It's like almost 2 different women.
Yep. So overall, though, the match, unfortunately, I have to give it a 2 headlock out of 5. Like I said, that there was all the right spots were there. All the spots you had that you knew they were going to get there, but all with that going on, Monday Night Raw basically yesterday confirmed that next week, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, the team that just got thrown together, are going to fight Lita and Becky Lynch for the tag team titles. So it's most likely they're going to win the titles there, but it just seems odd to me. I really want Raquel to kind of like be not with somebody. I don't know. We'll wait and see on that one. She might cost her the win. Yeah. Maybe she actually cost her the win, and Liv Morgan gets like demolished by Raquel. That's a possibility too.
Right.
But what were your thoughts? Oh boy, I see it. I already see it on there.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I didn't care about this match going in. The little bit of the match I did see, I was like, okay, this is a filler. I looked at it as a filler match, and I was just like, it happened. Shout out to, once again, Trish Stratus gracing us wrestling peasants with her presence. And that's about. I don't care about Bailey no more. I don't care about Damage Control no more. So basically, 1 out of 6 women in this match I'll take it back. I still got love for Becky, but basically 2 out of 6 women that I only care about in this match. The other 4 is just, yeah, that's pretty much how I felt.
Yep. I'm with you, man. Moving on with this show, I will go to one that ended up being a pretty good match. Just for the storyline and how it was pretty funny too. Yeah, you gotta go with Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul.
Okay.
You already knew 2 things were gonna happen. 1, you knew Seth Rollins was gonna have some drip. 2, you knew that Logan Paul was gonna have some ridiculous entrance because he did a crazy entrance at the Crown Jewel show. And they delivered. You had Logan Paul come out on a zip line, a la Shawn Michaels, but then he came out with his mascot, dressed up as his prime like water, energy drink, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah,
And it was fun. It was
KSI.
fun. Well, that was the funny thing. So like
Yeah.
the match happens and it's a pretty good match. You know, we knew that that going into it, Logan Paul, with everything he's learned and, you know, was able to kind of pick up, that it was going to be a pretty good match. And Seth can make a match good anyways. So this match had some really good spots back and forth. And then, of course, he had the spot on the outside where Logan's about to jump through the table. And when Seth Rollins grabs the damn prime bottle and slams him through the table, it was one of the most fluid motions ever, too, right? So he opens up the thing and it's KSI. I'm sitting there like, that's R-Truth. Because to me, if R-Truth was available, that is something that his character would have done. I'm just saying,
Yep.
like but had the fluid motion of him to switch spots, to pull him on the table was flawless, and he slams it on him, and then the match continues and everything. And the way they finished it was, to me, a perfect way to finish it. You know, Logan Paul could have maybe got the win if Logan Paul didn't try to act as a heel these past few weeks for the storyline of it. Right. I know you basically usually will have the heel face situation. To me, this is always different. Logan Paul, they're going to boo him for being an influencer anyways, as opposed to just being a true heel. But Seth Rollins deserved the win, and he got the win because he's worked his ass off. So over the past year and a half. So, but I was entertained, and at that point I have to give it definitely a 3.5 stars. So.
Okay, 3.5.
3.5 headlocks. Yes, I apologize. 3.5 headlocks.
Oh, okay, cool. Let me hold on. Let's see, 3.5. Let's see. Yeah, as far as so my thoughts on this match, very solid. Like, you got Seth Rollins, you got Logan Paul, two guys who are definitely pretty solid. See, one is a better worker than the other one. Let's not get it twisted.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as this match goes, it definitely gave me what I wanted, was two guys that, to basically work the crowd, as far as work the crowd. Two guys that, are how do I want to put this? Two guys that had the ability to come in and steal the show. And I feel like what they did for those 15 minutes, what they got, 12, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
What those guys did, they definitely did what they're supposed to do. So, steal the show. And for, the only thing I will say, the missed opportunity was, as far as the water bottle person, I feel like it should have been Jake Paul.
Oh, that would have been funny.
That would have been the icing on the cake.
That would have been very funny. I would have. Oh my God! Could you imagine?
Well, I was telling people at the party, I was like, when last time Logan Paul was in the ring, he was against Roman, and Jake Paul came out, because the bloodline was trying to gang up on Logan. So Jake came out. And at this point, in real life, most people, they don't really care for the Logan. I mean, for the brothers like that anyway, where they just look at the scumbags. So, what better way to solidify that than have his brother basically be the guy to water bottle? That would have just been the icing on the cake. But you said there was two things that was guaranteed, but you should have mentioned three. One, Seth always comes with the drip. Yep. Two, Logan Paul always has some type of makes an impact with an entrance. And three, we the third guarantee, we was gonna get a nice crispy buckshot lariat, and that's what we got.
Yes, we did. Oh yeah, again, because that's your move. That's my move now. That's Logan Paul's move. Oh yeah, for sure.
I am the buckshot captain now. But
the prime lariat. There you go.
The prime lariat. But yeah, definitely. I was looking forward to this match, and it definitely did not disappoint.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was fun. It was definitely a fun match. Oh, and by the way, this match actually went 16 minutes. 16 minutes. So you were close. Yeah, we were close on that. But moving forward, we do have the men's showcase match, as they like to refer to it now, whenever they have a bunch of tag teams randomly put together. So you have the men's showcase, the Viking Raiders, Street Profits, Alpha Academy, and Braun Strowman and Ricochet. For nothing specific, just the match they have. First pinfall or submission wins, and this match actually wasn't bad. Wasn't too bad. Kind of short, only 8.5 minutes long, but it was a pretty good match. So I will say I was a little surprised by the ending, but it tells me that the stuff has maybe changed for the future of Montez Ford. I don't know. It seems like for the past several weeks they've been really pushing the Viking Raiders and like wanting to break up both Alpha Academy with the whole Otis and Maximum Male models, and then obviously the more the push of Montez Ford. But we don't even know now. We kind of don't even know what they're going with. I will say though, this match had some pretty fun spots. But one spot that caught me off guard was that spot with Dawkins, with that shoulder tackle around the ropes. That it was the Viking Raiders. They were running around the rope, running around the ring, similar to Braun Strowman when he does his like train. And then Dawkins out of nowhere and just slammed him, and he was like, "Gotcha!" Yeah. And I'm sitting here like, "All right." He's showcasing. He's like, I deserve to be here. I want to stay here, please. But yeah, it is what it is. It was years past for WrestleMania. Usually have some kind of tag match, fatal 4-way, triple threat match or something. And this, everyone got their moves in. There wasn't anything else explored. That move right there was pretty cool. Not gonna lie. But the rest of the match was pretty, to me, straightforward. So, to me, it's only about 2.5 star. So,
okay.
No, you know what? It's a 2-star. I'd say 2-star just because it was too straightforward. So, I'd give that 2 headlocks out of 5.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're selling. And I pretty much feel the same way. Like, I didn't watch much of this match either because, I'll be honest with you, I really didn't care about this match at all. So the parts that I did see, it was irritating. It was just a whole bunch of spot fest. But other than that, I mean, this match really didn't really go towards something. It was just give these guys something to do on Mania, whatnot. Now, granted, if Mania was still one night, this match definitely wouldn't even happen.
No, not at all. No. I mean,
and then
there's no way. No way.
Yeah, and I think there's sometimes lies a problem in having a 2-night, a 2-night showcase like this. Because then you just start getting mad. They just start throwing matches together that don't either make sense or B, nobody's going to care about. But I guess now that you're a $9 billion company, everybody and their little brother can get a payday now on WrestleMania.
They better. As long as they get on the show, they get some money. So
right.
So they'll be happy about that.
But yeah, that's all I pretty much got.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. But moving on, we do have the top 3 matches of the show. Well, I say top 3, but like the last 3 of night 1. We do have Rey Mysterio versus his no good for nothing son, Dominic Mysterio. And, talk about, hey, you can't say that they didn't build this up. They did a very good job building this storyline up,
right,
all the way sent back from Clash at the Castle. And they really delivered, like all the storyline stuff, all the outside social media stuff with Rhea Ripley, attacking him, going after him. It was perfect, because now with the more social media age, it works better to do that. So it really worked, and they really sold the whole him entering, in chains. They had the little vignette with him in chains, getting out of jail. Like, come on, it was great though. I'm like, what? He had his mask on. He had Ray's mask on too while going in. Oh my gosh!
I would say, as far as this year goes, I mean, it's 2 people that definitely owned 2023. Mommy Ripley and Dominic Mysterio.
Yep.
Regardless of how you feel about Dominic as far as in the ring, has he been in NXT paying his dues? No. Has he been, as far as what I want to say, has he been, working a lot of house shows paying dues? No. But one thing he is he showed that he's entertaining.
Yep.
Especially as a cowardly heel, he's finding his groove, and that's all. That's all you need. Like, granted, is he going to be going on for some United States or Intercontinental gold sometime in the near future? Probably not. But he's found his own lane, and hey, listen, I'm not mad at it.
Oh yeah, because you got everything in the match, and we need it. We got the family drama there. We got the outside interference that was stopped. By Bad Bunny himself.
Yep.
Let's go. One of Sauce's favorite right there. We have Bad Bunny, and
he blessed us with the song Booker T. So there's that.
Yep, there you go. And it just worked. The whole thing worked. And then remember, and also Rey Mysterio came out in the Lowrider with Eddie Guerrero's theme music, which I thought was cool. It was really cool to see that. Though I will say, which was very funny and confusing, is that Rey Mysterio also had a companion. He had a dancing Cinnamon Toast Crunch come down to the ring with him as well. And it was very funny because I'm like, all right. And I was at the store the other day and I did see Cinnamon Toast Crunch and it had like a wrestling ring. It didn't say anything about WrestleMania on it. Just had a wrestling ring. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting but weird. But now I see why. So they really were a sponsor. And apparently NXT a wrestler Sol Ruka, who's done some great work down in NXT, that was the dancing Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So it's like, I wonder if she got a payday. I feel like she should because she's on show, but that's just me. But yeah, it was a good match, very entertaining. The storyline alone really wraps everything up in it. So I'm giving this match 4. I'm going to give this match a 4-star, 4 headlock.
All right, I respect
because
that.
With everything combined with the story of it, and to me it worked, all the way up into the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame, they get up and walk out of the Hall of Fame before he starts speaking, just to continue the storyline. It's just ridiculous, but in a good way.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that rating. I thought it was pretty solid match. Like, obviously, was it Hogan versus Andre the Giant? No. Was it Hogan versus Rock? No. Was it Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels? No. But what it came down to was it entertaining? And you damn right it was. And then the best part was, once again, this is why WWE works so well as far as the casual audience. Is I have a couple coworkers who one follows wrestling like, still very heavily. One doesn't. But the one that does it, he doesn't follow like he used to. But he was aware about the Rey Mysterio Dominic match. And he's a dad. And he said he got hyped. He jumped up and down when Ray pulled out that belt and started tearing Dominic's behind him. He's like, "That's right. You teach your son some manners. Teach him respect. That's right."
Oh, the crowd popped too. They were so hot for that. They were so hot.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
and so it's moments like those where this is why people love WrestleMania. Like, just those moments like that, for the old fans to come back and, watch it, whatever. And, as far as with his son, showing his son, like, see, that's why you respect your elders. See, that's why. So, but yeah, overall, the match itself, it was entertaining. That's all I needed out of it. Like, was I expecting, Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho WrestleMania 19? No, not even close.
No.
But that's why they're called. This is one of these matches. These matches is why they're known as World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yep.
For matches like this. So, but yeah, that's all I got.
For sure, man. But moving on, we do have the first of both women's title matches at WrestleMania. Night one, you had Mommy Ripley, who dominated the Royal Rumble, staying in the Royal Rumble for an hour and like 1 minute and change or whatnot, versus champion Charlotte Flair.
Right.
So basically, with Rhea Ripley having such a career year, basically keeping Judgment Day afloat, excuse me, keeping them afloat, and you knew going into this match just the hype behind Rhea Ripley. So, but you got to remember the back of your head, Charlotte rarely ever lost that on pay-per-view. Didn't matter if it was WrestleMania, she rarely ever lost that pay-per-view. So, had that in the back of the mind. That being said, this match did deliver for sure. They gave them 23 and a half minutes to wrestle. So they definitely utilized that in this match. There were some moves like, you remember, Charlotte likes her own repertoire. She loves that top rope, corkscrew spin, jump flip or whatever.
Yeah.
She likes to do her moonsaults. But then there were some moves where, Rhea would do like a flip, or like a suplex, and then she would flip all the way around. I'm like, oh gosh, I think she hit her head, neck, or whatnot.
Right.
Some stiff kicks from both. The pump handle slam finisher, that Rhea uses. So there were some hard hitting moves in this match, and just right at that end, when you see Mommy Ripley get that off the top rope, you're like, it's done. She's. So I will say the one thing that was very odd to me about this match, it wasn't the match, it was the after match. Is Charlotte, for some reason, acted like way out of character. Now, I get wanting to congratulate someone that deserves a championship and your fellow superstar. But she was acting like a caricature of something. She was like, "Oh my god!" What's up? I was like, "What the heck is that about? Like, why are you acting and smiling like you got the smiling chemical from the Batman movie? Like that's what you. It was weird, very odd. I mean, if that's how you act that way, you're not a good actor. You're not a good actress. I'm sorry, but that wasn't doing anything with the wrestling. So the actual match itself was very entertaining, and it was really nice seeing that Mommy Ripley is now the only wrestler to win NXT UK belt, NXT United States belt, Raw and SmackDown women's titles. The only wrestler to do it is Mommy Rhea Ripley. And she deserves it. She does.
Oh yeah.
So
while I'm gathering my thoughts, what we doing here?
Oh, okay. I'd say it's definitely a 4.5. So I'm saying a 4 headlocks, and then of course a Ric Flair chop. Woo!
All right. Let's go. So where's the? Hold on. I just saw it. Okay. So for my rating, look. So these women, they tore down a house. They tore the house down at COVID Mania.
They really did.
They did it again. And then they did it again over the weekend. These two women, for the, this only since the, I guess you want to call it the women's era, or the women's reemergence in WWE. There's only been a handful of matches where you can show somebody, especially a woman or a little girl, and tell them like, if you want to make them a fan of professional wrestling, you have watched that match, and that match did not disappoint. And I know, these are women, these are women who, go in here and they perform, but damn it, this match is man meat worthy, baby.
Yeah.
The man meats right there, just all. So, like I said, you got Charlotte Flair, who at this point, I know people, they love Ric Flair, or now he's a legend. But listen, she's a much better version of Ric Flair. Hell, this is Ric Flair like 12.0. Okay, Like I always say, if you put Ric Flair, I was talking about this the other day. I said if you put Ric Flair and Charlotte Flair in a match, both in their prime, Charlotte Flair would dust Rick, and I
Yep.
stand on that. And these women did not disappoint. And as far as Rhea, she definitely deserves it. You know, she worked her butt off for this. You know, and I'm wondering. You know, hopefully. Okay, real quick. You know, I'm going off topic, but Braun Breaker just came out, and Carmelo Hayes, I guess he was doing his little victory, you know, speech, whatever. Braun came out, and now he's beating up both Carmelo and his buddy. Oh, he just speared him. So
Breaking news from NXT. Breaking news.
yeah, so I don't know if he's pulling like a little small heel move, or because the TV's on mute, or he's just as or now the whole everybody's booing him. So maybe he's doing a heel run or not. I don't know. Maybe it's a double turn. We'll see. We'll see. I guess a few weeks. But anyway, the Vector was really most important. Was more important. I said these two ladies came in. They took care of business. As a fan, I'm happy. I'm good. From the, you know, like I said, from start to finish. Listen, them women tore the house down. So man meets going on. Man meets for those ladies. Man meets.
There you go. Yep, I think Big O approves of that. The Big O, man meet worthy. Yeah. So moving on, we I'm just gonna mention this briefly because I hate when these things happen at WrestleMania, but we're gonna mention this very briefly. Okay. So they had the quick match with The Miz coming out, and then Snoop Dogg called out someone, and Pat McAfee came back. Everyone liked seeing them. They're like, God, we haven't seen him since Royal Rumble. And they had a quick match. I quote that very quickly. And, you know, Pat McAfee beats Miz. That's it. There was nothing to it. It was just, you know, beating up the Miz. Miz was the host of WrestleMania. At that point, Snoop Dogg was out with them too. It's like, Miz, why were you even there? To literally get a paycheck? I think so, you know. But there was nothing else really to it. It was just always nice seeing Pat McAfee. So,
right.
But
yeah, I'll say you pretty much nailed it on here. I really don't have much to add to it.
No, and I'm not even giving it a score. To me, that's an A type score because it wasn't a match.
I agree.
Now I go on to the main event for night one, and is Kevin Owens, right? Kevin Owens, my boy KO, Kevin, and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship. Obviously, the storyline sells itself here, you know. Yeah, it sells itself, and this match did not disappoint. It did not disappoint for the storytelling, how hot the fans were for it. I mean, with super kicks galore, you know, power bombs going through the table, haluva kicks, everything in this match, you know. But the outcome became the only outcome that made sense, and that's what happened. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn winning the tag team championships. Now, whether they're going to now split those belts, come up with just new unified belts, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm just happy to see that that's happened now. So now the storylines can be further for both them and the Bloodline. So, because right now the Bloodline kind of furthered more yesterday because during when Roman Reigns came out on Raw, only him and Solo and Paul Heyman.
Yep.
They did a little vignette backstage with the Usos. Heyman said, "Oh no, don't worry, you guys can get on the plane, and get ready to go home." And then it's inferred Reigns said to send them away. I don't need you guys. Don't want you guys. So there's the dissension that they're already setting in with them, right? That the Usos aren't needed anymore, which will then be the cracks that break up most likely, in my opinion, the final reason why he loses the belt. If the Usos are now gone, he'll only have Solo there with him. But that's for another day that we will talk about all that with the Bloodline. So, but what were your thoughts on this match, though, man?
Listen, Doc. There's so many emotions. You had emotions on the left, emotions on the right. There was so much going on. We laughed. We cried. We thought back to our childhoods when this match was going on. We thought about our futures when this match was going on. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this match was it. This match was it. Like from start to finish. We had since we started this podcast. This as far as this storylines were going on, and I was here for it. And I felt like it was, and most importantly, I feel like it was the right call to close night one. Now, granted, yeah, I know they probably wanted, have it so that the men close night one night and women close another night. I get it, but we're talking like this is like Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, like length of storyline when they was doing their thing.
Yep.
And as far as that goes, yeah, I would say with this match, did not disappoint. I loved every minute of it. At one point, there was a point where you just thought that maybe, just maybe, the Usos still walk out of here champion. There was plenty moments like that.
There were. There really were.
Out of all the moments, the best moment was when Sammy, when he did, he bust out 2 of the haluva kicks, and that third one, then he had Jay laying on him. It was like that symbolic moment, like, this is it. I love you, but I say your time has ended. It was almost kind of like WrestleMania 24 with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, where basically it was like it was time to like put old Yeller to rest, and that's kind of what Sammy was doing with them. It was like we had a good run. I love you, brother, but it's time. It's time for both of us to move on, and it was just like that perfect moment, and that's why Sami Zayn, and that's why Sami Zayn, it was only fitting that he would be the one to get the pin on Jay. And also, hold on, this light is like killing me. And as far as with because people were talking about how they wanted. They felt like the women should have closed that night, but then they I think it was Simon from One Culture. He said, if you looking back at the night one, who had the loudest pop when they came out?
Sami Zayn.
The last person to walk down that ramp to wrestle night one. The last person, biggest pop of the night. It was the right move.
It's funny. Big O's got a good analogy here. Basically, WrestleMania Night 1 was fine dining, and WrestleMania Night 2 was your favorite takeout. I can see that and I'll tell you why I like that. It's because sometimes my favorite takeout might be bad that night, or it might not be as good. But then other times, it's pretty good. Most times, it's pretty good. So I'm with you on that. That's a good way to put it. And that's what we're going to go into right now with night 2. Oh, well, before we do that, we definitely have to have our ratings. And my rating for this match, give me those man meats. That's we got a 6-star match right here. Let's go. Storyline telling.
Oh crap!
The match itself, chemistry.
I'm clicking too much around here. There we go.
There we go.
So get that man his man meats. Get that man his meats.
Let's go. Patent pending. But it deserves it. It really did. Like I said.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Doc, be back with.
Oh, there we go. All right, there we go.
Listen here, ladies and gentlemen. We got 2 matches on my end. We got 2 matches that have man meat worthy. And that might not happen for a while, for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. So just remember, this is history. We making history today, because this probably won't be here tomorrow. I mean, this probably won't be happening for the rest of 2024. 2023. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Go ahead, Doc.
No, I would have to say that. I have to agree with you, but we still have a lot of year to go, and we're going for gusto on this. So, but that's night 1. Night 1, very good night. Now we move into night 2. Now, obviously, some people have said it's not as good as night 1. Guess what? There's some still good matches on this show. I'll tell you that for sure. And, excuse me. Unfortunately, the first match is not one of those. But we do have Brock Lesnar versus Omos, which obviously was a Vince McMahon type situation. And this match happened. Now, ironically, they actually were building this match up throughout the weeks.
Yeah.
It was actually getting built up some. I was like, all right, that's fine. But the match was only set here to showcase Omos' strength and then just the fact that Lesnar is going to F5 him, the giant, the Nigerian giant. We all had bets about how long this match was going to be. My brother actually had it at 4:54, and then Big O had it at 5 minutes. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was nuts how close these guys were on this. And, because it's, at one point someone put down 8 minutes. I said, whoa, that's a little long. A little long.
Oh, whoa.
Thought that I wasn't even.
As a matter of fact, hold on, I think I copied those times.
Yeah, look, 4:52 from CBM. Like, talk about crazy, right? That's crazy. Wow. Still didn't make the match any better, unfortunately. But yeah, to me, the match is just a.
So what are we doing here?
It's got to be Cheeks. Cheeks for me.
Hey.
Yeah, it was just. Again, there was nothing else to it except for the fact we were waiting for an F5 for on Omos, and
that was
about
this
it.
match was straight booty cheeks as well. Just did nothing for me at all. Normally Lesnar matches. So the problem with Brock Lesnar is kind of the same problem with like Randy Orton and Sasha Banks. It's like these guys, when they're into something, they make it work. They make it magical. When they're not into it, they definitely let it show.
Yeah.
And this is one of those matches where, like I said, I'm not blaming Omos because he's basically, Great Khali 2.0 or whatnot. But yeah, Lesnar, he was just like, yeah, let's go ahead and get this over with so I'll go home. And I kind of don't blame Brock.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's about right. That's how I would score it, though. And we do move on to another match that, unfortunately, is going to be just as low on this
with
score.
That being said, with that being said, what we got next?
Not much better, Sauce. Not much better. We have the showcase match of the women's tag team showcase match. Oh, and we got Sauce. He'll be back. Sauce will be back. And there he is. He's back in the house. I know. I mentioned the women's showcase match and his computer broke. I know that's how bad this match was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, excuse me again. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about this match. You got Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and the team that just got thrown together. And Natalya and Shotzi, a team that really got thrown together. And then Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Now, mind you, Chelsea Green was supposed to be with Carmella, which would have been, I would have been happy with that. And I am happy with Sonya Deville because they've been giving her more work to do. It just makes me wish that I miss the Iconics so much because that's what they remind me of. They remind me of the Iconics. And this match is just so blah. I've never seen such a blah match happen before. Like, this is a SmackDown match that should have happened on SmackDown the night before. That's the best way I can put it. All this match happens. Everyone does their moves here and there. And then Ronda, literally, reports kept saying Ronda was injured, that she couldn't wrestle. Then they're like, well, she's at WrestleMania. And they're like, okay. Probably a contractual obligation to be at WrestleMania. But literally, she does nothing until the end of the match and then does an arm bar to win the match. So at that point, you look at that and you're like, really? This match gets the cheeks, baby. Come on. Cheeks match.
Oh, yeah. I'll be honest with you. I ain't really got much to go on this match. I didn't care about this match in the first place. and I definitely don't care about it now. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. There's really nothing left to
There
talk
is
about with
nothing
this match.
left to talk about this one. So that's why we will move on to bigger, brighter things. Oh, by the way, they gave him 8.5 minutes. I'm like, that's 3 minutes too long for that match. But that's um, next match is again highly anticipated match of Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship. And again, the storyline's already built itself. You know, for he's been Intercontinental Champion almost 300 days or something like that. I can't remember exactly the days off the top of my head. He's deserved it. He's had great title defenses, obviously. Drew McIntyre's worked his butt off all year, being like a top face there. Sheamus has kind of done again, reinvigorated his career again. You know, he's a veteran that's been there for so long, and he's kind of reinvigorated again with his career with the Brawling Brutes and such. But this match again, if you were looking for hard hitting, big sweaty meats, this match was the match for you. And at one point, Gunther was taking chops and hits from both Drew and Sheamus, man. And then they were dueling them out. I mean, it was a. I wish JR was there for one match, just so he could say this is a good old slobber knocker, honestly. It really was. And I will say, even the ending was pretty sweet. The ending when he, like, Gunther comes in and power bombs. I can't remember what was it, Sheamus on Drew. No, Drew on Sheamus, and then Sheamus on Drew, or so, whatever it was. I can't remember, but it was like, and then it's like it was a cool finish. But Gunther was like missing for parts of that match. Like he would, they would beat him up, and then it would be Sheamus and McIntyre fighting, and it was okay. It was, don't get me, they had some good, but then Gunther was maybe gone, I think, a little too long for some of the match. Which was a little more interaction at that point. But it was still a phenomenal match. I was into it like the whole time, and I just want more. I want more now. Now, I want like a rubber match. I want it in like some kind of, whether it's against one or both, make it a ladder match, make it anything. I don't know. I would love to see it. So, just bring me more. But as for a rating, I would say for sure I'd have to give this a 4.5. 4.5. And again, my reasoning is mainly for, like I said, with Gunther wasn't more of the match. They went 16 minutes and 40 seconds, but Gunther was missing for a big chunk of that. He was missing for probably 6 minutes of that match. And I get triple threat matches. You can't all fight at the same time. Well, for the whole time, but I would have. That was my only concern. I thought everything else went great, and I'm glad that you didn't have the outside interference too. Right? You didn't. They stayed away. Everyone was away, and you had just a good, hard fought everyone beat each other to death match. But that's what I would go for. But I see here you got, there we go. So Sauce, bam.
Yep.
Sauce with the 5, 5, 5, 5.
Yeah, for the most part, this match did not disappoint. I mean, was it on the same level as what happened in Clash of the Castle? No, like you said, because you got to deal with 3 people, so it's a lot going on. It's just so much happening at one time. We got like 3 people doing their thing. So, with say they actually gave us, I want to say they gave us about a good like 15 minutes as far as with this match, or it might have been 18, but
not the 16:40. I actually got the times pulled up here. 16:40. Okay. So you're basically right there, man. So
yeah, okay. So with that, I don't want to put this. So as far as this match, you got 3 men who are definitely, at the top of their game right now. Yeah, it sucks that Drew McIntyre didn't, come out with the belt. But apparently they said that I guess he hasn't renewed his contract yet, so I guess they didn't want to put no gold on him at the time. And Sheamus is he's still one belt away from, as far as from getting them all. Whatever. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. He's one belt away from being a crown champion. But all we could hopefully, I'm hoping that sometime this year he can finally get the Intercontinental belt and he can be the Grand Slam guy that he deserves to be. So that's what I'm hoping happens. But as far as this match from start to end, even though we really did get a lot of Gunther in this match.
Nope.
No, so with as far as with Gunther, the parts that he did show up, he definitely made his presence known. But for the most part, it was pretty much a Drew versus Sheamus match that featured Gunther. So, granted, whoever won this match, I wouldn't have been mad at it. Like, granted, if Drew would have won, shout out to him. If Sheamus would have won, shout out to him. Gunther retains, hey, I'm not mad at it. So, overall, sweaty man meats was being slapped, and I did not disappoint. So, yeah, definitely. I feel like if it was one-on-one, like if it had been like Drew versus Gunther or whatnot, this definitely could have been man meets worthy. But we'll go with the 5 headlock. So
I gotcha. So moving on with the match, we do have the other women's championship for the Raw Women's title. We had Asuka versus the champ Bianca Belair. And, I guess I'm biased about this match only because I'm a big fan of Asuka. I was pretty disappointed to see Asuka not walk away with the win, but the match itself was pretty good. You had two different kinds of wrestling styles against each other, and they worked really well together. I thought, sometimes it's hard to mishmash the wrestling style, and I thought they did a very good job. The match was very entertaining. Went 16 minutes, so they gave them the time for it, and there was some good moves in there. There were some good moves, and there were some good spots that you didn't expect. Like, you knew most likely Asuka was using the mist at one point, but like when she ducked the mist and she kind of gave it a look like what did he die? I didn't hit you with, or whatever. And so it was kind of cool seeing that.
Yeah.
But going with that, and then the finish, it was kind of like, okay, you have to make sure you're super powered. Because remember, WrestleMania, you get powers, you get the rest of the finisher powers.
Oh yeah.
And we've talked about Bianca before. She clearly has been her Super Cena run as champion. My only concern now is this: who's going to beat her? Sauce. Well, that's a question for you. In your opinion, who's beating her? Now, on Monday Night Raw yesterday, Rhea Ripley came out to accost her, when it went during her promo, and then she kind of just said, "I'm champion. You're lucky I didn't challenge you." Blah blah blah, stuff like that. Do we have a chance that Rhea Ripley tries to win both titles? They try to run with Ripley as the champion, or a different direction?
So Ripley wouldn't be a bad choice if they're going to unify these belts. The only problem is I feel like if they unify these belts and Vince, writing this stuff, basically, taking control of creative. It's definitely Bianca is going to be the one that's going to win both. She's going to basically become the unified champion or not, because I don't know. Maybe they have this thing now where they might be trying to unify all the belts and basically just go back to having one champion instead of just champion for two brands. Because once again, as far as with this merger, it's going to be interesting to see what they want to how they go about stuff. So obviously they probably go doing some updates as far as with the branding and whatnot. So they might just want one champ period, which means if we do get unified belts, then we might be looking at maybe the brand splitting too. So that's something to think about as well. So that's the only reason why that's the only thing that's going through my head right now when you talk about these two women going at it.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point.
So
That's a good
yeah, I
point.
would think like if these two get in the program, Bianca's walking out with both belts. It sucks for Ripley, or whatnot, but I'm just
Okay, all right.
because at
So
this point Bianca is pretty much the big marketable one versus Rhea. So and then the way Vince's brain works now, so that's the way that's the way he'll sell it to Endeavor Corporation, whatever they call it. So
yeah.
but. So let me ask you a question, Doc. What rating are you giving this?
Oh, this match. It was. I'll give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4 headlock out of 5. I thought the match. Still was a good match.
I respect that.
I think they still worked really well together, and they had some moves that I was very you don't usually see too often. Finish with a good finish. It looked good. Sometimes when you see a finishing move that doesn't land right and they win on it, it's kind of like,
yeah.
But that was the heavy hitting move, just similar to how Rhea Ripley's move on Charlotte was very heavy hitting, very dominant. So that's what I would go with.
Right. I got you.
And it looks like you're going with looks like the same on that a 4 headlock.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it. 4 headlock out of 5. But moving on with this, we do, and I'm only going to mention this real briefly because of what happened. Another similar thing with the Miz coming out. So the Miz came out complaining again, Snoop Dogg about, hey, I got beat up or whatever. Snoop Dogg then calls out, and Shane McMahon comes out, right? Doing this little shuffle, getting down the ring. Says, I'm going to fight you, Miz. Does a little move, then the ropes, goes on the ground. Then he does this little leapfrog, hits the ground, immediately collapses. Miz just keeps going on the ropes, immediately talks to Shane, realizes that something's wrong. Snoop Dogg takes over the match, just knocks out Miz, and then does people's elbow, the doggy elbow, or whatever, on Miz and wins the match. And come to find out, Shane O'Mac, tore his quad.
Like father, like son.
Literally like father, like son. And Shane's wife is so pissed at him right now, like right after that match. But yeah, so I just had to mention that real quick, but oh my gosh, it is. So moving with that, we do have the Hell in the Cell match with Edge and the Demon Finn Balor, which a lot of people were excited about. And I kind of briefly mentioned earlier, again, this is where dirt sheets. I don't believe anything. And I kept telling people every single time, oh, did you hear this? It's going to be awesome. I had at least 4 or 5 of my friends literally say, it's going to be great. They've already confirmed it. That, Gangrel, he's going to be there. And then they confirmed it. Tony Khan's allowing Christian to be there. Cool. Hey, Sauce, did either one of those happen? No, it didn't happen. So, I get it. Gangrel made sense. He's not doing much. He's not really doing anything. But I just said until it happens, I don't believe it. And unfortunately, that hypes you up. It gets you excited. Now, did Edge have a pretty sweet entrance? I thought so. He had a sweet mask on, it was like a cowl made of like glass or reflective pieces, big wings, came out the Slayer. I didn't like though this Titantron said Brood Edge. I'm like, okay, so he's Edge, the Brood Edge. It was weird. Like we get it. We get the But so he had that sick entrance, and then Finn Balor had with the Demon. I'm a little conflicted on his though. So Demon, he comes out. He does not do the opening with the heartbeat thing. He doesn't do the, where he's do the arm thing. And look, I get it. You're the heel. You could still do that. People are still going to do the arm thing.
he did it once, like the first time he did it the first time.
He did it one. Yeah, okay. So he did do it the
Yeah, he
first
did
time.
the first time, but I don't remember him doing it like on the like when he does a spot on the turnbuckle. I don't remember him doing it there.
He had his smoke guys because he had that sweet like metal
Yeah.
spiked mohawk thing, and then he had the smoke like
Yeah.
batons, and he was just like, I got my smoke. I got my purple smoke because I have to be purple. It's got to be purple because I'm Judgment Day, and Judgment Day is purple. Yep. So I have to be red and purple. And trust me, there's a point to that. There's a point to that. Oh God.
Yeah. How much you want to bet that Vince McMahon Vince had his hand in that match?
Oh, well, if anything, the chairs and the kendo sticks. Because what happened was this. Triple H and them said, look, we're not using that red Hell in the Cell. We're going to go back to the regular Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
Vince said, okay, but the red versus black. We got to have red and black in there. So literally we got red chairs
and
purple chairs
kendo sticks.
And a red and purple kendo sticks. Yeah. But then there'll be regular chairs. And then there was a purple table. And then there was a regular table. Like it was the weirdest thing ever, like to have these in this match. Like, could I not use the purple table if you weren't Finn Balor? Could I not use the red table? Like it was. Now with the match itself, though, there were some pretty sweet spots. Like they did the tie-up spot in the corner with the kendo sticks. I love that spot. Where they can kind of lock them in and they can start beating on them. Some good chair shots here. Some good wrestling. The problem was everything got derailed pretty quickly. So this match, just letting you know, Sauce, it went 18 minutes, right? This match probably was supposed to go what? Maybe 25 minutes, I'd say. I'd say it should have won at least that. Yeah. But obviously, there was a mishap. And the mishap, at the time, people didn't know was as bad as it was. But there's a spot where Edge throws the ladder at Finn Balor. And Balor takes the shot good, like with hands up. But how it turned and part of the top of it catches the top of his head. Literally right on his scalp, the top of his head. Now, Balor, of course, has got his headpiece. He's got his whole face painted. He's on the ground. And then they have the doors open to get the doctors inside to check him out, right? Edge is doing his best to kind of like get weapons to start beating on him. You then start seeing the blood dripping on the mat. You could see it. And again, you can't really tell on him because of all his makeup and everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the next day where he posted on his own social media what the damage was. Did you see that picture, Sauce?
Yeah, he had a nice big gash on his head.
Yep, literally this mass, and you could see where they had stapled it partially, and that was when they were there, those doctors, to try to let him get him to finish this match. And I don't even know how he got up and continued to wrestle. And in my head, I'm like,
adrenaline.
It's the only way. Only way. So match continues. At that point, you knew it was kind of going downhill. But Edge ends up winning with the concerto, which a lot of people were pissed off about. A lot of people were mad that Finn Balor didn't win this match. In my opinion, I thought it was obvious Edge was going to win the match. Because Edge winning it means he's done. Now he's done with the feud. If Finn Balor won, it would have been kind of like, well, he's still got unfinished business. I don't know. It just seemed odd that more people were about the Finn Balor winning. But I know because you look at the Demon, right? The Demon character has more. He's like the high. Like, look, Finn Balor is like rated like 89 or 87 on the game. The Demon's like 94 or something. Like that's how they treat it. But all in all, I was entertained. I just felt bad for him that he got hurt like that in the match. But the way he continued on to it, I was entertained. So if I had to give it a score, 4 headlocks out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Hold on. Yeah, me, however, I didn't hate the match, but I thought it was an okay match, but I feel like that moment when they doctor checked on him definitely kind of soured the momentum.
Yeah.
So
for sure, man. For sure.
So you know, to these guys, I give about a 3. That was all right.
Yeah.
Even with all the spots they were doing, it was just like kind of like a typical hardcore match that was just in the cell. It wasn't really nothing outside of like the spot where he had the demon tied up with the kendo sticks. Outside of that, I mean, it wasn't really too much spectacular going on. So, but yeah, that's just pretty much how I feel about it.
Well, yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, you got to remember too, like the Hell in a Cell is smaller as well. Like they don't have that much room around the outside. Not like the old Hell in a Cell where you had a lot of room on the outside of the ring to like do some running spots or other or hit spot. I don't know. I feel like we no longer have a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and that's a good thing.
Well, for now at least, until we'll see what Papa Vince does or pulls off.
I just think that the idea of the Hell in a Cell, unless you have a really, really good built-in storyline, like they would too, or a tag team. Like, could you imagine Hell in a Cell, but it was Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens?
That would have been wild.
Man, that would have been wild. That to me makes more sense. Like that should have been how that was booked.
Yeah.
Oh man, now I'm all wishing that happened because you could have seen some great spots there. And oh man, wishful thinking. We'll see. But yeah. Now, obviously, all those matches happened, and now we're done with the show. Have a good night, fella. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm done.
We're obviously we have to acknowledge one person, the one person there, but that's Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, but Roman Reigns retaining the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship of the Galaxy.
Yep.
So, there was a lot of emotion going into this match, and they delivered. They definitely delivered on all the above. I feel like everyone got their moves in here and there. There was at one point, though, that I was very surprised. Like when Cody got the crossroads at one point, and then I think he got a second crossroads. I think. Yeah, he does. And when he didn't get the 3 count, the way the crowd shifted there, I'm not saying they weren't cheering Cody, but it was almost like that, oh, we didn't get him, and they were like how you would cheer for a face kicking out of getting pinned. Because they boo him, but they still love him. Guess that's the best. See, that's where Roman's at now. He gets booed. He says, "Acknowledge me." They cheer. Same people. So obviously you had the interference. The Usos coming. Well, Solo coming out, then getting kicked out. Then the Usos, and then Sami Zayn doing their thing. But that was just But this match, it really had it all. It had everything in it, in a sense, But then, of course, just you have it was a screw job finish, a screwy finish.
Right.
But I feel like it had to be that way because people that were already mad about him losing, if he had lost clean, oh Lord, if he had lost clean, I don't even know what to say at that point. But I thought it was good. I thought it was a good way to do it too with Solo because it just. With the spike, it looked good too. He's going for the crossroads again, and then he's like, "I got you!" Wham! With the Samoan spike, just right into the spear.
What made it great was that camera angle.
It was such a great. It was a great angle on that, and obviously the end happens. 1, 2, 3, and still, like, what's that hashtag? And still champion. And of course, everyone on every form of social media was just losing their minds. There's video of people fighting and screaming in the stands, like beating up the chairs and stuff. And like,
grown man,
you are grown, right? Oh my gosh! Again, though, the fact that he loses, that makes it so now you have more to fight for to go back after him. I mean, most likely, okay. Before the events of Raw yesterday, I thought that at Backlash we were going to get like a 6-man tag match: Cody, Sammy, and Kevin versus Roman and the Usos. Well, now that's not looking like the case now because of the whole Brock Lesnar thing. Brock Lesnar shows up on Monday Night Raw, says he's going to be with Cody in the tag match, and turns on Cody. Absolutely demolishes Cody in the main event on Raw yesterday. So now, is he staying? Are we setting up Cody versus Brock for no reason? I mean, just because it never happened before? Is that why? I don't know. But
maybe.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, right? So we're just getting everything is right now wait and see because of how creative it's now going to be. We're all waiting every day now to figure out what's going on. So we're in shaky waters here, fellas, as wrestling fans. But you know what? We still are fans, so we're still going to be here. We're still going to be reporting on that and giving our opinions and reactions, and we love hearing yours as well. So we're not going anywhere. As Triple H said yesterday, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's about to go to catering. But so as far as the rating, what are you giving this?
Oh, the match. I'll give it a 4.5. I think. I think so. I think 4.5 headlocks out of 5. That's what I'm going to go with it on it. So.
Hold on, 18. See what I did there?
I see. I like it.
Let me do the half. Okay.
No, it's like the half. It's like the figure.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
So with that being said, I know a lot of people were pissed about the finish. I wasn't mad at it because I told people, I was like, listen. Oh, damn. I told people, I said, listen, don't be surprised if this man wins. And sure enough, this man came through and delivered. Let's see, copy, paste. There you go. And bear with me, internet. Bear with me, the folks out there. So, yeah. So I mean, overall, yeah. They gave it. One of the guys there. Shout out to Dennis. He predicted that it was going to go about 38 minutes, and they went about 36, 37, I think.
Yep. Yep. Close to that. Yep. So,
there was a lot of emotions that took place in this match too. Listen, we all laughed, we all cried, we all thought about what we did back in 6th grade when we was watching this match. We all was just on an emotional ride when it came to this match.
Yeah,
it delivered, and I'm just glad that Solo, he got his revenge on by Cody, because Cody gave him his first loss on the main roster, and I always appreciate a petty villain. I said it before and I'll say it again. But overall, when they mentioned that 9:45, I was like, it's a good chance he might be leaving SoFi Stadium with that belt, with those belts, and sure enough.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, night 2 wasn't as good as night 1, but still, it was entertaining. I thought it was, and it just builds up for more. Triple H referred to it as another chapter for Cody Rhodes. Like, this is just one chapter. It's until the continuation of it. And I get that. I do. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens, in regard to Roman and Champ. And now moving forward with how any booking is going to be done. Because really, we're in the dark now. We're really in the dark because we don't know. Because look, just as a devil's advocate, say with this new deal that, again, we don't know the exact dealings of it. But say with this new deal, Vince McMahon is completely in charge of creative now. hypothetically, with this new deal. He's in charge of that, but the guy in charge of like Endeavor doing it, say if he wants something different to happen,
Yeah.
you're not going to say no to this guy because we've now merged there, with them. So to me, it's interesting to see like what could happen. Like if they want something to change, that's going to happen because they've now got 51% of the stock. The WWE shareholders still have 4 to 49%, but so again, that's just devil advocate. Like I still think there's going to be a team in charge with creative. Is Triple H really kicked out? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think he is. I hope not. That'd be really silly. That'd be really stupid and counterproductive compared to what he's done the past 8 months. But
yeah.
Again, we're only in a watch and wait type situation now.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, so Doc, with that being said, what's the rating you'll give for this show overall?
Oh, overall, I'd have to give it some good matches there. I'd say 4 and a 4.5 out of 5. I'd say.
Okay, that's fair. So
yeah,
let's see. Hold on. So what I want to do at the moment, if you bear with me.
Yeah, no problem.
So I'm gonna just go over quick. What I want to do is go over a quick just recap of the ratings that we gave it. So with that being said, let's see. We'll start with Supercard. Just a quick rundown. Let's see. Hold on. Bear with me, everyone, for 2 seconds. Oh, hold on. Looking for. Just bear with me, folks. Wait, why is it not? That's weird. Okay, so So just as a recap, so ladies and gentlemen, so our overall reviews as far as for this pay-per-view. So for ROH Supercard, let's see, Dr. Love, let's see, 4 headlocks. Then for the World Championship, for the men's. For the women's championship, we got 2. Doc gave it 2. Pure Championship, he gave it 4. 6-man, he gave it 2.5. As far as World Championship television, 3.5. AAA 4. ROH Tag Team Championship Reach for the Sky, 3.5. Show rating 4.
Yep.
And me, as far as me, ROH Championship, 3 headlocks. ROH Women's, 2 headlocks. ROH Pure Championship, we looking at 4 headlocks. ROH 6-man, 2 headlocks. ROH World TV Championships, 4 headlocks. AAA, 4 headlocks. ROH Tag Team Championship, Reach for the Sky, 3 headlocks. Show rating, 3.5 headlocks. And then going forward, WrestleMania 39. In no particular order, because the way I did this.
Yep.
SmackDown Women's Championship, this is all Dr. Love. So SmackDown Women's Championship, 4.5 headlocks. Women's Tag Team match, booty cheeks. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio, 4 headlocks. United States Championship match, 3.5 headlocks. Undisputed Tag Team Championships, man meets. And then WWE Universal Championship of the World of the Galaxy, we have 4.5. Raw Women's Championship, 4 headlocks. Intercontinental Championship match, we have 3.5 headlocks. Men's Tag Team Showcase, 2 headlocks. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, 3.5 headlocks. Brock Lesnar versus Omos, booty cheeks. We have Lita, Becky Lynch, and Trish versus Damage Control, 2 headlocks. Hell in a Cell, 4 headlocks. And for Doc's overall rating for the show, 4.5 headlocks. Now we get to mine. SmackDown Women's Championship, man meets Women's Tag Team match, booty cheeks. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic, 3 headlocks. United States Championship match, 3 headlocks. We have Undisputed Tag Team Championship, man meets, baby. We have, as far as the Universal Championship, we have 5. Raw Women's Championship, 4.5 headlocks. Intercontinental Championship match, 5 headlocks. We have Men's Tag Team Showcase, 2 headlocks. Seth Rollins versus Paul, 4 headlocks. Brock Lesnar versus Omos, booty cheeks. Lita, Becky, and Trish versus Damage Control, booty cheeks. We have Hell in a Cell, 3 headlocks. Show rating for yours truly, 4 headlocks.
Whew. Talk about wild wrestling weekend, baby. And that's a good thing. WrestleMania weekend always make sure they bring out as much wrestling as possible for anybody else. And there was a lot of other good, nice indie stuff going on at the same time. So shout out to all that as well. With all that being said, though, for all of this past week, who would you put as your heat of the week? Sauce. There's a lot to choose from. So,
the heat of the week, that's easy. Heat of the week goes to Rhea Ripley. Let's go.
Mommy Ripley.
Yep. I said, give it to mommy. So here's why.
I wish. Wait a minute.
Here's why. This woman set out on a journey. It seemed like her journey started back when Rona Mania. And she had to go through some crappy matches. She had to it's almost like she had to repay her dues on the main roster. But it was a 3-year grind, and we made it. We won the Rumble, was the right choice, and then one that came with the gold, right choice again. So as far as with Miss Ripley, yeah, she's definitely my heat of the week. And she's deserving of it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to choose from, but I'm gonna have to go with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I think I'm just happy to see, even if Sami couldn't win the world title, that's fine. But winning the tag team titles with his best friend for the first time, by the way, they've known each other for years. They've never been tag team champion together.
Yeah,
which I thought was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. But seeing them be able to finish that story, I mean, it may not be finished, but you know what I'm saying. But take out the Usos, deservingly become tag team champions. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great to see it, and I'm all about it.
Right.
But hey, we had a little bit of technical issues today. Because you know why? But we're both very electrifying, so that might have messed with a little bit of the issues, the sounds here and everything, electronics. But you know what? That we're still here. We're still talking with you guys. But that being said, hey, we always thank all you guys for always listening and commenting, because we love talking to you guys. We love hearing from you. But that's pretty much it. Now we didn't know the whole thing about the whole Endeavor thing. Like, you have all the WrestleMania stuff. Now, again, we're kind of in that new world right now. We're checking where we don't know what's going to happen next. Everyone is in the dark. Dirt sheets galore are going to be saying this and saying this. Honestly, unless you see it on the news, or you see McMahon, or you see Endeavor, they're talking specifically about something, I wouldn't believe dirt sheets unless they're backed up by multiple sources. And if you ever see an article that starts off with a wrestling veteran had this or this to say.
It's probably
Stay
Russo.
away. Stay away because it's probably Vince Russo. But with that being said, unless Sauce, you got anything else? I think we had a good show tonight. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed a good weekend of wrestling. I know we did. And listen, we all about to go down this dark path as known as Endeavor. So, every week we'll be going along this ride with y'all. But on that note, let's say at the end of the day, y'all stay happy, y'all stay safe, and more importantly, be good.
Be good.